Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the all-time draft Celtics serpentine draft, so everything should be equal. And we are going to play against the 76ers. So let's see who they've got. They've got Kyrie, they've got Julius Irving. Looks like a pretty even matchup. Dikembe is going to be a problem down low. So let's start the old game.
The bracket is set, and Cavs Legion GC took on Wizards District Gaming to start us off. Gilly drops 25 for the district.
I could really care less about any of this.
But the Legion's
I know they
teamwork
have to
got
load the
4
game,
players
but
in
this
double
is better
figures
than
to
watching
secure
Ernie
the first round
and,
win.
the disaffected Ernie.
Next, Toxic
Kenny
and his
and
new
Shaq
team, Magic Gaming,
walk
took on
their
his
way
former
through.
team,
The 2K Sports pregame show.
And we're done. Okay, so I'm going to be looking.
And now your Boston Celtics starting lineup. At the power forward position. At the other forward position.
Welcome, everybody, to the day we've all been looking forward to. The start of a new NBA season on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, our sideline reporter, the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. We've got a special treat for you folks tonight. Sports writing heavyweight Bill Simmons is in the house. Bill, welcome to 2K Sports.
What an honor. I've been waiting for the invite for years.
And we've been waiting for the acceptance. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, let's do this.
It's
Yeah,
the
let's do this,
Philadelphia
sports
76ers taking on the Boston Celtics.
Exciting
All
start
fueled
for
up
shooting
and
free
ready to go.
throws.
Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Taking a look at the 76ers. Zach Randolph is out there with Mutombo. Then there's Irving. Then there's Irving. And it's Brogdon
Then
in at
there's
the 2
Irving.
spot.
Then there's Irving.
Now, here is Irving. Floats one. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
Bill, you know the Celtics so well. What were your first reactions when you heard about the Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen trade?
Well, the Ray Allen trade, I was upset because that was the 5th pick in the draft, and we had just not gotten Kevin Durant or Greg Oden, and it just seemed like they were treading water for 44 wins, but that set up the Kevin Garnett trade. And then it's like, oh my God, this team might actually win the title, and then they did.
And the chemistry between those three, including Paul Pierce, amazing.
Amazing. Not as amazing recently. I think
for
it got a
layups.
little less amazing, and there was some feuding with Ray Allen and Rondo and stuff, but in 2008, amazing.
It's terrific. And
Yeah.
a title.
Yeah, 1 title. Should have been 2.
Should have been 2.
2009 was actually a better team, and KG got hurt.
Count that one.
Boy, I tell you, I don't know if there's anybody better than Kyrie Irving close to the basket. He has a great feel for how
Well,
to
that's the
score
Kyrie Irving
inside.
current Kyrie.
Here's Love. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So
Isaac
one free throw
Randolph.
coming up.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that.
Myself
I mean,
over
they
here, so you
wanted
guys
no
can really see
part
what's
of him
going
on that layup.
DeMarcus
Score.
Cousins is checked in for
Didn't
Zach
realize I was
Randolph.
out.
That's good from Love.
And you all may have heard this before, but I can't resist this fun fact about Kevin Love. His uncle was one of the founding members of the band The Beach Boys.
Now,
I
here's
love-
Brogdon.
In case you're wondering, like kids.
Irving looking over the
General
floor.
really took over live performances as the lead
Clock at
singer.
6. Lets it go with a 3. Antetokounmpo pulls it in. The Celtics have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. Price.
Yeah,
Dikembe Mutombo grabs the rebound.
thanks, Mark
For
Price.
Philadelphia, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. And there's the call on Klay Thompson. That is his first foul of the game.
I guess I should probably look this way. It's kind of creepy me looking at the side.
Mutombo passes to Irving. Bill Commissioner Adam Silver believes the 2K Esports League will have the staying power of the NBA, WNBA, the G League. A pretty powerful comment to make.
And I hope he's right because I want to be the lead color guy. I want us to be the team. Why can't it be us,
Are
Kevin
you
Harlan?
kidding me?
Let's do that. Cut me the check.
Sign
As Rasheed
me
Wallace
up.
would say,
There we
CTC.
go.
Cut the check.
Bill Simmons is here.
Already.
That is why, ladies and gentlemen.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Well, because they're playing hero ball. That's why.
If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. 5 on the clock. Shoots the 3. Gets the 3-pointer to fall. Irving's got 7.
Anything you can do, I can do better. We got a little gamesmanship going on.
Yeah, a little mano-mano, back and forth. Guys going at each other, giving this game a little bit of edge and personality. I like it.
Now, here is Irving. Following the miss by Kevin Love. And Cousins kicks to Brogdon. Irving for 3. That one doesn't drop. And it's Boston the other way.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Vucevic with the bucket.
It's obvious
I'll
down
take
in the
that.
paint is where Vucevic is most comfortable, just utilizing his
Well,
size
this
and
team
strength
plays
against
pretty well
anybody
together,
who tries
I
to
have
defend
say.
him.
Price against Irving. From 13. Another miss by Irving.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
And it's out of
Oh, yeah.
bounds. Last touch by Thompson.
Glitchy poo there.
And while we have a chance, let's take a look at the best free throw shooters in the league from last season.
Oh, I
Fifth on the
care
list,
less
Kyrie Irving.
about any
He
of
was
that.
locked and
So,
loaded
coming
from
up
the
on
free
6
throw line
minutes, I'm gonna
all
have to check,
season.
make
Never
sure
suffered
that,
through
our
any
guys aren't
real
getting too
lulls
gassed out
in
there.
that department.
Irving attacking. And foul on the shot.
Let's see here. I like the fact that Giannis doesn't get gassed very quickly. All right. I did realize, okay, Rudy Gay would be my backup power forward. So let's put Rudy Gay in, see what he can do, and then George Hill. Even though I have slightly better players, and Hornacek is a slightly better player, he cannot handle Kyrie. So
he'll get a chance at the line.
conscience.
Hey guys, it's crazy. He really was a late bloomer. You know, Irving didn't have the big-time amateur career you hear about with some stars, but boy, he's more than made up for it.
Some changes for Boston. Rudy Gay's checked in for
a lot of
Love.
single-digit guys.
And George Hill's subbed in for Price.
Just solid. Really one of the very best there is at the free throw line.
Vucevic finds Gay. And the 3-ball is good.
I'll take it.
Now we've seen some top prospects forgo college, enter the G League straight out of high school. What do you think is the future of the
By the
G
way, I
League? And
play
do you
on the
like where it
pro
sits right
difficulty,
now?
in case you're
I do.
wondering.
I wish they spent more money on salaries.
I
and
agree.
I wish they blew it out. I mean, I think this is the first year we've had 30 G League teams. This should be the #1 place you'd want to go after high school. You should not want to go to college. You should want to go to a AAA
It's set
awesome
up.
league that's set up.
And they're bringing kids up and down off that G League roster all the time.
It's just better, and you're going to have a better
This game
chance
is
to
a walking
succeed as a professional
advertisement for
basketball
the
player.
G League.
You see the situation we're in now with the one and done guys. They go to college, they show up in September, they're playing all the way through till March. Whenever they get knocked out, they drop out of college. And they might last, till round 2 in the tournament, which is what, March 20th?
Right.
And they're out. So they've been in college for 6.5 months. How's that a good system? They didn't even finish 2 semesters.
Well, I agree with
I would
Bill
much
Simmons
rather
on
see
all
the
of
G
that.
League work, and I don't understand why they don't spend a little more on it and just make it like a force. I don't think the moves are that hard.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here.
And when you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately, really unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of blanks there. Can't hit a thing.
Take out
Has to be deflated.
We'll put Giannis back in. Oops.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Thompson, he's checked in for Vucevic. Gordon Hayward comes in for Antetokounmpo. And it's Hornacek in for Thompson. Celtics on D. It's a 10-point game. Irving against Hill. Here's Irving. 9 points in the game so far. Can't hit from the elbow.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
They sure are. I mean, they've done a terrific job carving out space under the basket and then pursuing the ball. You know, it's one thing to box out, but you've got to pursue the ball if you're going to get rebounds. And they look strong here in the early going.
Bill, you've watched the NBA evolve. Talk about some of the biggest changes over the last decade you've seen.
The three-point line and the threes or foul shots philosophy, I think, is the biggest thing.
Julius Irving
The
can't
pace
play
of the game has really improved, and to a really pleasing way for fans. Like just what Steve Nash was doing last decade and those Suns teams, that everybody's playing that way now.
Malone teaming up
I think the
Larry
social
Bird.
media and the players basically getting rid of the wall between them and the fans, using social media, using Instagram, and we just feel like we know these guys better. And their ability to control their own message now versus where they were 10 years ago. It all started with the decision of LeBron James and his carry through this whole decade. And these guys now, they can get whatever message out they want. They can criticize the president. They can criticize their own team. They can ask for a trade. If they get called out by some writer or somebody writes a hit piece, they can go back at the guy on the writer.
There's the dish to Cousins. And Thompson sends it back. And he gets it back. And he comes up with the deuce. And so he'll bring it up for the Boston Celtics. They lead by 11. And they're starting off the season playing the 76ers here.
They take on a team they knocked out of the playoffs last season in the conference semis.
Greg, would you suspect a little bad blood or bad feelings from the opposing side?
That's why I
They
generally
better
don't
be
put
ready to
myself
scrap.
on
Going back to our topic from a moment ago, Bill, you mentioned the interaction between players and social media and how that's become a new facet, a skill we're seeing daily from players.
There's just way more accountability now. And I'm really impressed by how polished the guys are that come in the league now. And I think the LeBron generation, LeBron, Wade, some of the Chris Bosh, some of those guys from the last generation that came up and became vets and really knew how, Paul Pierce, who knew how to handle their business. Now these new guys come in, they're 19, 20 years old, and they act like they're 30. I'm sure you see it at the games.
Shocking.
Whereas in the 90s, it was a free-for-all, and you had these guys who, if you gave them a live mic, you were terrified. And now these guys are 19 years old,
Polished.
giving, long interviews to reporters. It's like, how are you doing this?
Tatum in particular is very
Tatum's
impressive.
already good at being a bad interview.
He's
Like, he
19 years
he
old.
doesn't say anything. He knows how to dodge any question. It's like, you're 19. How do you know how to do this?
Unbelievable. Now Scott. After Gordon Hayward's three-pointer that didn't go. Lamb passes to Cousins. And the three off target.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
And, time will tell how big a factor that becomes in this game, guys, but if you're the coaching staff, it's certainly a point of emphasis.
Irving with it. He's picked up by Hill. Launches it. Scott can't get it to go. Celtics leading by 9. And Bill, through your column, you became known as the Boston Sports Guy. Very connected to your readers. Talk about the fan loyalty in the city of Boston.
Well, the biggest thing is the cold weather. And when it's cold, you really have to attach yourself to certain things. So in Boston, it's the 4 sports teams, and they get you through some cold winters and some 100-degree summers.
And those are terrific teams, too, aren't they?
Usually been good. Knock on wood, Boston's had some good luck over the years. We had a little dry spell in the 90s, but other than that, 70s, 80s, 2000s, 2010s, has been great.
And not surprising, obviously unhappy with the lack of response from his team.
Can't blame him. I mean, the effort hasn't been there. Just has not been there. Hopefully, he can get the fire lit.
Trevor Ariza's checked in for the Celtics. Allen comes in for George Hill.
Yeah,
And
I'll put the
Philadelphia
starters
also
in to
making a
start the second
switch.
quarter.
Jackson's checked in. It's Gay on the way. To end the drought, and it's good on the way in. Gay's got his second bucket tonight.
They're
And
playing
Gay
the
has
Tumbo
great
at
length down
power
on the block
forward.
there. Fantastic at just jumping on opportunities to score when he's down low.
Marcus Cousins.
Now here's Jackson. High post Cousins. Here's Mutombo. The dunk and the foul. Powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line.
That was probably entirely.
It's going to go on Tristan Thompson. The 76ers shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
And Mutombo, a defensive force, a long, intelligent player who plays well on both ends of the floor. And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
It's a good touch, not a bad touch.
Jackson dishes to
What are you
Mutombo.
doing? What are you doing, Rudy Gay?
Hornacek against Jackson. Good D by Thompson.
They hold the early advantage on the glass.
Yeah, nothing major, not a huge advantage, but certainly a good sign for them going forward.
And you know what? Very close to a three-point play right there.
Yeah, he almost got
just
that one
Thompson
down. I mean,
getting
those are
free
the kind of
throws either.
aggressive plays coaches love to see.
Danny Ainge is checked in for Lamb.
Oh, come on.
That one is no good. The 76ers trail by 8. Knocked away. Jackson with it, and Allen picks him up defensively. But they'll get another chance.
Celtics foul.
Really?
The 76ers have yet to miss from the free throw line. They're 3 for 3.
And a season ago, they hit about 75% of their free throws.
That's Danny Ainge.
Both free throws good from Ainge.
And Ainge, just one of those guys that likes to annoy an energetic scorer who can shoot a high percentage
Take it,
from
Trevor.
the field.
Take
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now.
Yeah, we got
Well,
the
you know what?
swagger.
You don't want to do too much to get an opponent riled up. You got to be mindful of that.
Hornacek with the steal. And pushing it up, here's Boston. He's
Really?
got the ball.
I mean, that can happen to anyone, but it's ugly every time it does.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, embarrassing.
Allen.
He just lost his
Very
concentration for
disappointing.
a split second, and that's all it took.
And so it's the Boston Celtics holding on to an 8-point lead heading in.
Who cares?
Here we go, Boston. One of the most talented big men in the game. DeMarcus Cousins talked about his
All right.
maturation.
And a player that thought he knew it all.
Yeah,
You know,
Marcus
Greg,
can't
you
find
see
a
it on the
job,
floor
Cousins.
now. When Cousins
Talking about
keeps
his-
his emotions in check, he's a force on the floor.
And Kevin, that's the key. When he's focused on the game and not the refs, he is almost unstoppable.
Fortunately.
And
Nobody
hope you've
believes
enjoyed the
he can do that,
broadcast
I
so
don't
far.
believe.
Halfway through the first half in this one. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy
If
early
you would
on.
pass it to the guy I
Exactly.
wanted
I
to
mean,
pass it
they've
to,
made their presence
that
felt
never
on
would
this
have
end.
happened.
Excellent job contesting shots so far.
So on the floor for Philadelphia, Scott is out there with Zach Randolph. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Ainge in at the shooting guard position. Here's Antetokounmpo, banked in off the glass. Antetokounmpo's got his third basket of the night right there. Bill, several of your books have been bestsellers. How did it feel to see your work so well received around the world?
I think I was really happy that the basketball book did well because I spent a long time writing it, and it was 700 pages. And when it got mailed to me, it was so big, I thought people would just be terrified of it. And, you know, it
I
turns
think
out...
they embraced the
Yeah, I
size.
think they did. They liked it. I designed it for people to be able to put on their toilet or bring on an airplane or whatever they want to do with it. But I was always amazed that there wasn't a basketball book that tried to kind of group all these other books and some of the opinions and all the misinformation. Like the fact that, honestly, the reason I wanted to write the book was just that people thought Will Chamberlain was better than Bill Russell. And yet every single thing written in the 60s was that Bill Russell was better. And all the players would say Bill Russell was better. And when they played together, Bill Russell's team won. So it's like, how do we get to the point where people think Will Chamberlain was better? So it was that and some other stuff that made me want to write the book.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, last season started with that horrific injury to Gordon Hayward's leg. Now, it's been a long road back for him, but he took heart in the encouragement he received, not just from his family, but from so many well-wishers. He
Not
said,
any of his
"You realize
teammates
how
last
lucky
year."
you are to have people from all over supporting you." Guys?
David, I think everyone is rooting for his complete recovery.
Now
Thanks
Jason
for that
Tatum
report.
and Jaylen Brown.
And to look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from, the paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Boston.
And even when the deep three has been there, they've stayed away from it. They're working hard to get shots from close range, resisting that urge to get too loose with their shot selection.
4 on the shot clock. Here's Jackson.
Yeah, I don't want to dismiss the defensive chops of Antetokounmpo. I mean, he is so good at handling himself on the defensive end, whether he's guarding his own guy or in position to help his teammates.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
And the 76ers call time here. Bill, we know in your writing that you love to incorporate pop culture references. How did that begin with you?
Well, it began because in college, I was dropping them in columns and people were responding. I think pop culture probably mattered more when I was in college in the 80s and 90s because, we didn't have the internet back then. It was harder to connect with people you didn't know. Basically, you had sports and pop culture and politics. Those were the 3 ways. If I'm getting to know you, what are the 3 things we're going to talk about? I didn't want to talk about politics with anybody, so the other 2 things for me were sports, pop culture. I was also an only child in the 70s with only 5 or 6 TV channels watching Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, Sanford and Son, Jefferson's, Good Times, all that stuff. And, that stuff just soaks into your DNA, and that's it.
And the rejection by Antetokounmpo.
That's right,
And the long
Julius
reach of
Erving.
Antetokounmpo. I mean, stretches for
Overrated.
days. And because of that, he's excellent
And a
at
dirty
challenging
player.
shots.
Boston leading by 13. And Bill, and talking about the connection between pop culture, sports, and basketball during your career, through it all, you've always been a writer, though, haven't you?
Always been a writer. Only that was the only child of me. The thing is, though, I would have watched more basketball, but basketball wasn't on. I try to explain this to people, how lucky they are to be able to watch.
They can't believe these finals were tape delayed.
Well, but think about the day-to-day, right? Like Magic Johnson. I feel like I saw his whole career, but I really didn't. Like, his first couple years in LA, I think CBS was only showing like 6 or 7 regular season games.
Sunday afternoons.
In the playoffs, they would bump him off.
Yep.
USA, I think, got the contract in maybe 1982, but for the most part, like, I love George Gervin. I probably saw him play in person twice, and I saw him on TV maybe 10 times, 12 times. And now I could watch Giannis every day. And if Giannis dunks, I could see it on Twitter 5 minutes later, 5 seconds later. So I think people are lucky. You guys should appreciate how lucky you are out there.
Bill, your long-lost cousin Ben Simmons headlined a tremendous rookie class in 2017. And in fact, people might think it's the best rookie season ever in the history of the league.
A lot of good players. Hey, Simmons, Mitchell, Tatum. Do we count Simmons in that class, though? I guess.
Well, since he won the Rookie of the Year, let's put him in there.
All right, we'll put him in there.
Technically.
I think if you come out of a year of rookies and you get one guy who has a chance to be a franchise guy, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. We had 3. If you're doing 3 a year for 10 years, you have the most ridiculous league of all time. I think the talent ebbs and flows, and we've had stretches. Like, I think last decade, in the 2000s, especially like from about 03 to 07, 08, like, we were just short all-stars. We were just short a few guys, and you saw teams like the Nets with Jason Kidd made the finals 2 years in a row, and you saw the Ben Wallace Pistons team actually win the title.
With no superstars.
Right. And you saw, in 06, the Pistons, remember they were on pace to win 70 games, and they had 4 All-Stars? The league just wasn't that good, and now it's flipped, and it's so loaded. I think from a talent standpoint,
it is
as
ridiculous,
good as any year since 1993.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Yeah, which 25 years ago, just loaded with
I meant to turn all of that
guys
off,
who could be Hall of Famers someday, or
I'll make insurance
8-time All-Stars, things like that. So now you look at this 17 class, and Simmons, Mitchell, Tatum, just right there. That's awesome. I still believe in Lonzo. And I still believe in
Should've
De'Aaron
done it
Fox.
myself.
I think those guys can be
Shut up,
all-stars too.
Dexter.
And Philadelphia calls time here.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
We'll keep Giannis in the game.
Hill, he's checked in for Price.
And here's a look at some
For another
stats
minute or
for
two.
DeMarcus Cousins. Last season, he played outstanding. Last season, he chipped in about 25 per, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Kyrie's back
And you
in the
know,
game.
pretty terrific numbers across the board.
Yeah, so many books in his library. He lights up the scoreboard on a nightly basis.
Back to Irving. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. Randolph kicks to Brogdon. Stolen by Allen. And a fast break now for the Celtics. Here's Hill. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Hill's got his second bucket of the night.
And when Hill sees an open floor ahead of him, he's off to the races, using that amazing speed and length to get to the basket.
Irving for three. Good on the triple.
And scoring the ball comes easily and naturally to him. He's a versatile player at the offensive end.
Poke loose.
Run, dang it.
Irving against Antetokounmpo. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And
I
here
think
we
I
can
got that
check
one
out the
blocked.
story on Kyrie Irving. Great showing for him last season. Fifth.
Let's get Giannis out of the game. And like that.
For free throw shooting. And of course, he was among the best in the league when it came to putting the ball in the basket. Top 10 in scoring.
And yeah, he was money from the charity stripe. Only a handful of players shot a better percentage last season. Tremendous asset. That's good from Irving. Rudy Gay's checked in for Boston. Then for the 76ers, Mutombo comes in for DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Lamb in there for Brogdon. It's Gay on the way. He's covered by Randolph. The pass to Thompson.
Problem is
Rudy
that I
Gay
got
on the wing.
2 guys on the floor who
Over Randolph.
absolutely cannot play
No
offense.
good from Gay.
You
Tristan
almost
Thompson
have to
and
assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Irving misses.
Can't get more open than that. No idea how he mistimed that mid-range shot. Maybe he was too open.
Gay up top. He's covered by Randolph. Yep, that one goes in there.
Exactly.
9 points for Gay.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Yeah, and they're really getting pummeled on points in the paint here.
Irving kicks to Mutombo. Irving passes to Lamb. Shot clock at 6. To the inside. It'll go. The Boston lead is cut down to 14 points now in the basket from Randolph.
Yeah, you know, one thing about being a great scorer, you draw a lot of defensive attention, and there Irving takes advantage by finding an open teammate.
But they recover it.
Get in there.
That one goes.
There we go,
Count
Tristan
it.
Thompson. That's about the
Thompson's
extent
got his
of his
first
range.
bucket in this one.
I mean, other than
And you just
screwing
hate to
around
give
on-
up those second chance points.
the ugly
Yeah, those are
possession
back
system.
crushers. I mean, they really crack your back when you give teams second shots like that. But the defense not doing a good job at all of getting after him. They've got to crowd him and make it tough for him. That's his second this quarter.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
Well,
And you
the
can
2 guys
see
who
which
I think
team has the
play
swagger
offense.
right now.
Well, you know what? You don't want to do too much to get an opponent riled up. You got to be mindful of that.
Boston leading by 15. Gay finds Hayward. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. Let's take this chance to see which of last season's teams had the most second chance points in the league. 5th on the list, the 76ers.
This was a team
Completely
that was
irrelevant.
really savvy when it came to getting position under the boards and then getting those offensive putbacks.
You know, there's no question about
long
it.
as
Hayward
we
is an exciting
maintain
player and an athletic
with the
forward
bench
who
guys in,
can
which I
really,
think
really
we
score.
And there's the call on Gordon Hayward. That is his first
That's
foul
our
of the
foul.
game. A minute 42 left in the first half of the game. Irving against Hill. Pocket 6, Irving double team. Here's Randolph. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. And that's now 6 points for Zach Randolph. Time called here. The Celtics
One thing I don't
decide to
understand
talk
about
it
this
over.
game is the point guard, power forward, pick and roll defense, which leaves a hell of a lot to be desired.
Celtics making a switch here. Hornacek's checked in.
Makes no
and
sense. They just
Philadelphia
leave
also
their
making
guy.
a switch. Scotty's checked in for
Yeah.
Irving.
I
Always
don't
full of
understand.
terrific insights. Bill Simmons, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. My insights, thank you as well.
Well, he tried.
And Clark, always great to have Bill with us, a content creator who really taps into what the audience is thinking.
Could not agree with you more. Amen to all of that, Kevin. He's got a very loyal fan base and readers and viewers that share his vision, not just on sports, but on life. And that strong connection he has with them is admirable.
Admirable.
And, you know, that's a second foul early in this quarter. I think he's got to be much more cautious in how he defends
Early
now.
in this quarter.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for Boston.
55 seconds left.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition. Well, for so long, so many were wondering what Kyrie was thinking when he left Cleveland. What is clear now, though,
I
is
don't know
that
how to
Irving
play for a
doesn't think
franchise.
about
That's
it
what he
and
was
has
thinking.
flourished on his own. It seems that he
didn't
really did
flourish
just
this
need his
year,
own
though.
team to become the player he's become. +8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
Gay kicks to Hayward. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Gay can't get it to go.
Has not made another three since the one he drilled in the first, but still, you got to
I
defend him
noticed
from
that,
beyond
too.
the arc.
That's good from Randolph on the assist by Scott. And it's 8 points for Zach Randolph.
He might not elevate like some of the other guys in the court, but as we've learned, Randolph knows how to get the ball in the basket.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's feeling it tonight and has been the driving force for...
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, you're in a good position here at the break. What do you tell your team to make sure they don't let up?
Well, I don't think it's about letting up or playing better. Or it's just playing the right way. We just have to play good basketball. And we talked about it before the game. That's our goal going into the game. That doesn't change no matter what the score is. So that'll be the discussion at halftime.
Thanks very much, Coach.
Thanks for the
Thanks,
great interview,
Coach.
David. And we'll be...
Okay, so we'll take this opportunity to put the starters back in.
Back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
And we're going to try to
the
get through
2K
this
Sports
halftime show
halftime
as quick
show.
as we possibly can.
Welcome back, everybody. A tremendous game we're seeing from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had 14 points, 2 block shots, and 1 assist. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
You know the Greek freak. Every year, he seems to take a step forward.
Bye.
Welcome back to Boston, the buildings of the financial district visible in all their glory.
The same halftime show.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. You look at Kyrie Irving in this game, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for
been a
him,
one-man show.
a scoring machine here in that first half.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch, partner, because not only is he shooting a high percentage, a good percentage, he's also carrying the team.
They've got Antetokounmpo. Vucevic is out there with Kevin Love. And there's Klay Thompson, and it's Price in at the point. That's the group for Brad Stevens getting going here in the second half. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Brett Brown coached the Sixers team through some really lean years. Now, the promise started to show last season, but he said, I don't feel close to the notion that we've arrived. I'm hardened, just doing my job and moving forward. Kevin?
And continuing the process, D.A. thanks. To the middle, deflects the pass. It's stolen by Vucevic. Irving against Antetokounmpo, and the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
And Antetokounmpo is just a blur. I mean, I don't know how a 7-foot guy with that wingspan and all legs and arms can be a blur, but man, he's like a lightning bolt when he gets room to roll to the basket.
And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. The Celtics have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here. With the amount of characters and personalities on the Sixers team, Clark, you can't help but notice the attitude they play with.
Yeah, they play with edge, they play with brashness, some would say arrogance, but all of the championship teams have some element of that, and that's where they're looking to go. On occasion, if their emotions get out of whack, it can get them in trouble, but I think they'll learn as they grow to tone that down and use it in a positive way.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
All right.
And so it's Irving with it, bringing it up for Philadelphia. A floater, and the layup is up and in. Irving's got 19 points.
Nice looking floater there, Kevin. Such a fast shot, a quick release. Really hard to guard that.
Antetokounmpo against Irving. Antetokounmpo dishes to Price. Back to Antetokounmpo. He kicks it to Love. His three-pointers off the mark. The 76ers trail by 20. Outside Irving. Launches it. Connects from three-point range. He's got 22.
And once he started feeling it, Irving just decided to make it his night. And he's done that in a big way.
Antetokounmpo against Irving. Antetokounmpo, no good.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
You know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
The 76ers have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Timeout called the 76ers. Clark, you had a tremendous college career, excluding yourself. Give me the best NBA player from your alma mater.
Wow. I would probably lean towards Jerry Lucas as the best player coming out of Ohio State. And then you look at his pro career, was pretty solid as well. I thought Herb Williams had a fantastic and long pro career. John Havlicek maybe would rise to the level of the best NBA player of the group that came out of Ohio State. Jim Jackson is another name. Evan Turner still playing. But I think John Havlicek probably in longevity, championship, Hall of Fame stature. I think he may be the best NBA bucket.
I'm going to put Clark Kellogg in there too.
Oh, I didn't play long enough.
The 76ers have been exceptional shooting free throws tonight, going 9 for 9. Both free throws good for Irving. Celtics leading by 17. Hill passes to Thompson. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
Yeah, eat it, Brock.
And now a chance to see what's coming up for Philadelphia. On Thursday, the Chicago Bulls come into town, tipping off a homestand for them. And then on Saturday, they'll take on Chris Middleton and the Orlando Magic.
And that one against the Pistons. It's always interesting for top teams to see how they compare to the best in the East. This will be a chance to see just what this group is made of.
Irving kicks to Cousins.
For them to see what they were made of.
And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. Banked in off the glass. Cousins has got 8.
And, you know, DeMarcus Cousins is used to playing through contact. I mean, he's excellent at overwhelming the defense with his strength.
It's back to Hill. To the paint. Here's Vucevic. Thompson outside. Out left of the wing. For 3, Love. That's in. Coming off the assist from Thompson. He's got 10.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And Cousins gets it to go.
Hero
And,
ball.
you know, even when the defense is on him and Cousins is well guarded, he still gets it done. Excellent footwork, good hands and strength, and he stays focused when he's in the paint near the rim.
To the middle. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Celtics leading by 16. Inside. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession.
I wonder if I can make the substitutions.
And a chance here to take a look at the shooting chart for Antetokounmpo.
Well, this is what you wanted to see from him.
Really?
I mean, he's not settling for anything, and he's going right at the defender, taking the ball to the rim whenever he can. And the attitude he's had on offense is keeping his team flying around.
Oh, man! Artistry and poetry in motion. Irving can create in the air as well as anybody.
That instant replay brought to you by Under Armour Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive the unleashing of chaos that time.
You guys feel better
The
about
76ers
having
trail by
chaos
16.
unleashed on you?
And Irving puts it up from 15, and he
got a
connects
little
with the
glitchy
jumper.
there.
Irving's got 7 points for the quarter.
Fifth ball.
Austin with the ball. 22 is their biggest lead. Inside, here's Thompson. Good, the assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 5 assists tonight.
You know, that's what you want out of your point guard. Hill is really doing a nice job getting the ball from side to side and not hesitating at all in doing it.
Here's Irving, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one on Vucevic.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Greg, he got him good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
And with all the drama, Greg, that has followed Irving the past few seasons, he reached out to Kobe Bryant for some guidance.
And just like Irving and LeBron had to go their own ways, so did Kobe and Shaq. Very few players know what it's like to be in a situation like Irving, but Kobe's one of them. And Kobe gave Irving the confidence to not be afraid of standing out in his career decisions. And
which is why
so
he
far,
did
it's
Kevin
paid off
Durant
handsomely.
2 years later.
It's Hill on the wing. He's covered by Irving. It's back to Hill. Pass to Gay. Right side Hill. Thompson, high post. Pocket 6. Ariza finds Gay. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
And so it's Irving. He brings it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. They trail by 16. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. It's going to go on Tristan Thompson.
And Cousins lives at the line, just applies tremendous pressure on the defense.
The free throw drops for Cousins.
And of course, we know about DeMarcus Cousins last season and the torn Achilles. I'm just glad to see him back out on the floor and fully recovered. He's put in a lot of work in terms of rehab and make sure that he could get back to doing what he does best. Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
And with Cousins and that injury, never an easy one to come back from.
Yeah, it's true, but fortunately, Cousins has the kind of skill set that he's going to be effective no matter when he's on the floor. And great outside shot, the footwork, very smooth in terms of ball handling for that position. And most of the players who aren't the same after an Achilles tear don't have the same skill set that Cousins possesses. That's why I think he'll be fine once he recovers from this injury.
And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around.
And some changes here for the 76ers. Scotty's checked in for Randall. And Jeremy Lamb subbed in for Irving.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Passes it to Cousins. Trying to get open is Irving. That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut down to just 12 points with the basket from Cousins. Hill kicks to Hornacek. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
And, you know, the defense was probably in the C-plus range there. I mean, I'm sure he feels like that's one he should have made, that layup.
And it's out of bounds. The 76ers able to retain possession here. The 76ers making a switch here. Jackson's checked in. Tipped away. Here's Irving. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
Well,
Irving's got 8 points in the quarter.
And now they're shooting it pretty well. That was not something we would have said in that first half.
The 76ers trail by 10. Kicks to Jackson. To the inside, Cousins throws it down.
And Cousins, at his size, able to handle and finish like a guard. Very nimble in the pick and roll.
Now a timeout called by Boston. In an effort to protect the players, games are called a little tighter sometimes. And that said, Clark, which guys still bring the physicality that draw the eyes and the attention of the officials?
Specific reason.
Some of these guys bring attention to themselves by virtue of their reputations, but in terms of physical presence, Steven Adams, behemoth of a guy.
He's grit. He's just all grit, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he just oozes that with his size and the way he goes about the work.
He does. So Boston ends up going with a new group. The 76ers trail by 8. Goes up on the wing, and Julius Irving, the basket on the assist from Jeremy Lamb. Irving's got 14 points. Boston's gone 6 of 14 with the 3 ball tonight, just a little over 40%. Antetokounmpo against Scott. That one falls. And it's now 20 points for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Jackson passes to Cousins. And Cousins throws it down.
You gotta love how Cousins uses his size, his reach. He's more prolific on the defensive glass, but obviously a factor on the offensive end as well.
Back to Vucevic, and stolen by Cousins. Down low, stolen by Thompson. And here's the fast break. Love leading the way. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Let's take a quick look now at some stats for Love. Coming off a terrific season. 9th in free throw percentage. 12th in rebounding. And he was also extremely dependable behind the three-point line, finishing the season among the top 20 in three-point percentage.
And again, you gotta love his commitment to excellence. He owns the free throw line. It's truly an impact part of his game. Tom Bowie's checked in for the 76ers. Scott against Antetokounmpo. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Thompson's got his 5th assist in this one.
If they play it right, we're talking a 2-for-1.
Well, you're maximizing your possessions. That's the critical thing here, and they've got to make sure the timing is right, though.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
How am I in the bonus? Okay, I've got 5 tickets. That's how I'm in the bonus.
Free throw drops for Lamb.
I really believe the more playing time that Lamb gets, the better he'll become. He still has the potential, in my mind, to be a very solid player in this league.
Celtics leading by 8. And here's Price. 7 points in the game. Now, here's Thompson. Over in the corner, onto Tecumbo. 4 seconds left, and onto Tecumbo, slings it in.
And he's got it going now. And when he's in this kind of a zone, I think the D's happy to just get out of Antetokounmpo's way.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's feeling it tonight and has been the driving force for Boston. He's up to 26 points in the game.
Okay.
How about a look at today's State Farm assistant?
How about we don't, and we look at substitutions? Because I got to get these guys out so I can put them back in 5 minutes.
Of the game.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Well, you can't run away from the DNA. When he's running the show, he makes sweet highlight reel plays night in and night out.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this 4th and final quarter. So on the floor for Philadelphia, we've got DeMarcus Cousins, Reggie Jackson out there with Jeremy Lamb, and it's Mutombo, and it's Scott in at the 3, the small forward. And the call will be against George Hill. That's his first foul. Malcolm Brogdon's checked in for the 76ers. Scott inside, defended by Hayward. Scott can't get it to go. Gay kicks to Hornacek. From down in the low post.
That's not a foul. Give me a break.
And the Celtics lead by 15.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
Back to Scott. And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation. And now look at Boston's upcoming schedule. On Friday, they'll tip off a road trip in Toronto where they'll take on the Raptors. And then on Saturday, they'll be matching up against DeMar DeRozan and the New York Knicks.
And for that Thunder game, I think they know how important it is to see how they measure up against the cream of the crop in the West. I'm looking for them to approach it like this is a playoff matchup.
We played just over 1 minute here in the 4th quarter.
Killing.
Here's Jackson, and that one's on target from the wing.
And that's definitely a shot that he has in his arsenal.
And it's Thompson with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Boston Celtics. Hill dishes to Gay. Good. The assist goes to Hill. 22 points for Rudy Gay.
Oh, great ball movement there.
The 76ers trail by 18, and Cousins throws it down.
This is what every opponent dreads when they're facing Cousins, a game where he is playing with full emotion.
It's back to Hill. Gay against Cousins. Outside Hill. In the corner, it's Hayward. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Over Scott. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
And the jump shot has been a dimension of this game where they've had a clear advantage.
Greg, they keep pulling up and watching them go down. It's a really nice thing to see.
Here's Jackson. Plays it up and banks it in.
Pick by the big man, Cousins.
We're in the 4th quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. Here's Gay, and it's good. He's made 2 for every one he's missed. 10 of 15 in the contest.
Boy,
Rudy.
His foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
And finished off by Gay.
And I just love how Gay penetrates to the bucket. I mean, always looking for the highlight reel play, showing off that awesome vertical.
Jackson with it.
Well,
He's picked up by Hill.
quite the performance tonight.
Scott can't get it to go.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Boston.
Boy, guys, I really like how they've driven the ball to the basket in this game. I mean, they've been very aggressive with it.
Yeah, but they also never seem to get cold from mid-range. Just kept hitting those shots with consistency.
Allen's checked in for Boston. Price comes in for Hill. Zach Randolph is checked in for the 76ers. Irving comes in for Reggie Jackson.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
All right. So, this definitely looks like the game has made some really bad substitutions. I think that's what it's supposed to look like. Some really ridiculous substitutions. Which that's not going to happen until little bugs in the game.
And seeing Gordon Hayward out there, you have to be glad that he was able to recover the way he has from that devastating injury on opening night last season.
And I remember your call of the moment, Kevin. The whole NBA world just was shocked on that opening night. As bad as it looked, it seemed to be clean enough to where Hayward won't have any lasting issues with it. The rehab obviously wasn't easy, and I'm sure Hayward is just thankful that he's been able to come back completely from that injury. Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
No, it's not a brain cramp. It's what I want.
A brain fade.
Since
I don't
you
know
won't
where
let me
that
do all
came
my
from.
substitutions
Just lost
at
sense of time and the situation.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
And Gordon Hayward is a player who's always found a way to add something to his game. Now he feels comfortable going at a defense either inside or out. Great strength when attacking the rim and can shrug off those defenders.
Vucevic, he's checked in for Gordon Hayward. Here's Irving. No good. Great D that time for Vucevic.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
It's all about Antetokounmpo, and he makes good on the layup. Antetokounmpo's got 16 here in the second half.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
And Greg, you mentioned Hayward's strength. That and his ball fakes seem to be not as recognized as they should be.
Yeah, I think Hayward has one of the better pump fakes in our league. Great deception with inside-out dribbles to create space. And the things he does well aren't immediately apparent, but Hayward's terrific fundamentals are what make him a great scorer. Yeah, that was the 3rd straight high-percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
Get back.
Here's Scott. Another miss, and they've really hit a rough patch here.
And another miss. Woo. He's having a...
Whoa! Hey, watch out now. Watch out. How about the flash by Antetokounmpo? I mean, just an insanely talented athlete who loves to punish that rim.
And how about the terrific use of the crossover there to just throw the defender off balance?
Here's Gay on the jam by Rudy Gay.
Yeah, Mark Price is a superb
like
passer, Kevin. Excellent at finding teammates when they're wide open.
Philadelphia's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Here's Brogdon. Hits it from about 6 feet away.
And he's been passive today, but maybe that's what he needs to get him going, because for them to be successful, he's got to be a little more selfish.
Down it goes. Nice one there from Antetokounmpo.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
I think they've really got to start committing more bodies down low and really kind of close that area off defensively.
Irving against Price. Left side Irving. Just 5 on the clock. Scott, yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Scott's got 5 points now this quarter.
And this is what Scott's being paid to do. He has great confidence from distance, as well he should.
Shots good by Gay.
You know, this quarter has been all him, all about him. They're getting it to him in his spots, and he's taking over.
They get a hand on it, and it's
all right, so I have this dude. So, yes, please.
Out of bounds, the 76ers able to retain possession here. So Boston ends up going with the new group. And then for Philadelphia, Diallo, he's checked in for Mutombo. Damari Carroll comes in for Scott. And Danny Ainge is subbed in for Malcolm Brogdon. Now Irving. 76ers moving the ball around. Randolph finds Irving. Rebound Love. Love's got 7 rebounds in the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
Gorgeous jumper from George Hill, even in the face of some stiff defense.
Where am I?
Irving against Hill. A 15-footer, a nice shot by Irving. Irving's got 14 points now in the second half.
Despite the play of the team, I think he's had an outstanding game. He's really done well here.
Lets the 3 fly. Rebounded by Holmes.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Hill passes to Holmes. Well, Clark, some G-League salaries on the rise due to two-way contracts.
Yeah, and I think some of it is a function, Kevin, of the league's prosperity and success as revenues continue to grow. But I don't think it's a handout. I mean, when these guys get called up to the NBA, they've got to continue to be ready to produce and contribute, because at the end of the day, it's about production if you're going to make your way into the NBA.
Hill kicks to Thompson. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Yeah, no let up. The killer instinct on display, trying to put this team away. I love the tenacity.
And the call will be against George Hill. That's call number 2 for him. Jeremy Lamb checked in for Philadelphia. Reggie Jackson comes in for Kyrie Irving.
Reggie Jackson.
.151 left in the fourth quarter. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the hard. That one on Hill.
At the line, 76ers. Danny Ainge.
That free throw missing.
And, you know, Brett Brown has seen it all in Philly. The good and bad times. Was the head coach for their lowest points as this team rebuilt. Now he's reaping the fruits of his labor and persistence as he leads a star-studded Sixers team that has great potential.
Here's Thompson. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
And, Greg, to be able to take the bump like that and maintain control, that's not easy to do. I know you're kind of a little fella, but I was a big guy when I played, so I know how difficult that is. That was impressive.
I see.
The shot by Carroll, no good. And Clark, you have to applaud management for the way they stuck with Brown as the team was turning things around.
Yeah, I love it, Kevin. I really do. I mean, being able to see the long-term picture and stay with the coach who you believe is the right one for your group. Very impressive work by the Sixers. You know, injuries and a lack of talent were the issue early, not the coaching. The players love Brown, and rarely are coaches afforded as much time and patience as this franchise gave Brown. I applaud him.
And one
Unfortunately,
team is
they
just
didn't give that much patience to the GM.
outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Boston.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And, Greg, we know familiarity breeds contempt. I would expect things to become more heated as these teams face each other going forward.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for Rashawn Holmes. Gordon Hayward comes in for Kevin Love. And Tony Allen subbed in for Trevor Ariza.
Why are we playing Gordon Hayward at center again?
Lamb with the ball. 5 to shoot. Over Hayward. Allen with the rebound. Thompson right side. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
And so it's Boston.
All right, so we'll take a look at these stats.
They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute. Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it for the first game of the NBA season.
We don't care about his interview. They always say the same thing. Alright, so let's take a look at the stats. So I got 2 guys with 30 points. Everybody seemed to have a good shooting night. Everybody's happy, healthy. Tristan Thompson had 9 rebounds. George Hill had 11 assists off the bench. So yeah, overall good night, good game. Don't think Philadelphia is going to be one of the best teams in the league. Kyrie playing her hero ball like he normally does. So yeah, that does game 1 of the season, and that'll end episode 2 of this series. And I will see you guys for episode 3 soon. Have a good life until then, and I'll see you guys later.